Happy Sunday. I saw a video earlier this morning from former congressman from Illinois, Republican Adam Kinzinger, and then I followed up and went and read some additional news reports. Apparently, within the last day or so, Ukraine took out with drones 1/3 of Russia's strategic bombing fleet. And it's the details of this. I think these are called FPDs, first-person drones. Basically, it's like you put on like some virtual reality goggles and you see what the drone sees and you pilot it by remote control. Ukraine and the airfield where these strategic long-range bombers were located was located thousands of miles inside of Russia. This was not on the border with Ukraine. And Ukraine undertook a mission of smuggling multiple semi-tractor trailer trucks into Russia, traveled them that distance, and these trucks were loaded with these first-person drones, and remotely retracted the roofs of these semi-tractor trailers, activated these drones, launched them, piloted them by remote control, and flew them into 40 strategic long-term bombers, blew them up, 1/3 of Russia's long-term or long-range strategic bombers. Many of these are, like our old kind of B-52s that we had in World War II that flew over to Japan to drop atomic weapons on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, but a modern-day version of those planes. And Russia has been bombing the ever-loving shit out of Ukraine lately, in many cases using these types of aircraft. The fact that Ukraine was able to successfully pull this off without any help from the United States, because Donald Trump cut that all off months ago, is stunning. I guarantee you that Vladimir Putin is losing his mud right now. And I guarantee you that he's scared because Ukraine pulled off this mission at a greater distance than the distance of Moscow from Ukraine and the Kremlin and Vladimir Putin from Ukraine. And they did it. They got these trucks, huge trucks, into Moscow, into Russia, where these airfields were located, parked them nearby, and left them, and did this by remote control. And I think in the coming week or two, we're going to see a lot of generals mysteriously falling out of windows in Russia. Absolutely stunning military victory for Ukraine. I should be wearing my Ukraine hoodie for this. Maybe I'll make another video later on responding to some comments. But Vladimir Putin's got to be sitting there thinking, holy shit, what else can they do? They've basically crippled Russia's ability to do long-term strategic bombing, because it's like, not all. One thing I learned from, I already forgot his name, the congressman, who is a military pilot. It's like, you're never in a circumstance where all of these planes are operational at the same time. A bunch of them are down for maintenance. A bunch of them are, going to be down for retrofitting, things along those lines. So depending on which planes they hit, they may have just completely deprived Russia of any long-term bombing capability altogether, which would obviously buy Ukraine some significant breathing room. But they did all of this without informing the United States ahead of time, because fuck you, Donald Trump. We saw what you did to Zelensky in the Oval Office and your little attack schnauzer, J.D. Vance. They did it without U.S. military aid of any kind, and they did this without U.S. intelligence aid of any kind. And which means they probably got some intelligence help from countries in Europe. The importance of what happened cannot possibly be overstated in military terms, in strategic terms, in psychological terms for the Russians. In psychological terms, I think that may be the most significant accomplishment here, apart from just the physical on-the-ground destruction of these planes. I mean, Vladimir Zelensky and the Ukrainian military just demonstrated to Russia, the Russian military, and Vladimir Putin what they're actually capable of doing. And I guarantee you that they accomplished something that no one in Russia, the Kremlin, or the Russian military believed was even an option for Ukraine. And, you know, I've been seeing a tremendous lack of reporting. Kinzinger, that's his name, Adam Kinzinger. He's a reserve pilot in the military, and he was active duty and flew towards duty as a military pilot over Iraq and Afghanistan, I believe, before he ran for Congress. I think in 2010. I don't remember the exact date. The psychological impact of an attack like this and the success level at which Ukraine executed it, thousands of miles inside of Russia, did it by remote control after having smuggled these trucks, physically smuggled them and just drove them in for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles without being challenged, and parked them where they parked them. The psychological impact of that on Russia, the Russian military, the Russian people, and Vladimir Putin especially. And Vladimir Putin's like senior military leadership and senior intelligence leadership right now. He's going to be looking at the FSB guys, you know, used to be the KGB, and they're going to be like, how did this happen? How did these trucks get this far inside of Russia without Russian intelligence knowing anything about it? How did that happen? Because it took days. It took days for them to get these trucks into position inside Russia while being inside of Russia on Russian roadways the entire time. And he's going to be looking at them going, how the fuck did you guys let this happen without knowing anything about it? I would not want to be a senior member of the FSB or the Russian military right now, because those folks are about to have some fatal accidents.